A big heartbreak for those of you who remember the popular soap opera All My Children. It aired from 1970 to 2013, excuse me.
Yeah, John Callahan, the actor who played Emmett Gray, has died. His ex-wife announced his passing on Twitter and Instagram on Saturday. She did not give a cause of death, but she did write, quote, "I hope heaven has baseballs and that your team always wins." According to IMDb, he was in 356 episodes from 1992 to 2005.
President Trump says the U.S. won't pay for security if Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle move to the U.S. A spokesperson for the couple says they don't need such help, but the president's tweet appears to be the first sign that the Duke and Duchess might relocate to the U.S. They had said that they plan to move to Canada after leaving the United Kingdom. Either way, their spokesperson says they have privately funded security. They're just, making sure he knows.
Trump was like, we're not going to pay for it. And they were like, we don't need you to pay for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
It's hard to keep up with where they're moving. It's between Canada and
US.
US.
It's hard to keep up in general, but I do know Meghan's doing things now, voicing over things. So, they're like, come on.
Yeah, we don't need it.
We just thank you, though.
Yeah, we appreciate it, but, we got this covered.
Yes.
All right, so many TV productions, as we know, are on hold. So the Television Academy, they're extending its Emmy eligibility date for hanging episodes. It also revising the voting calendar and suspending some events. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association is also relaxing the screening requirements for the Golden Globes. Screening rooms and theaters, they're closed in LA, so the association says applicants, they can submit links or DVD copies of films.
I just feel like this just shows how much our whole world is kind of changing because I feel like all the things we kind of took for granted, like these award shows,
Yes.
It's crazy.
I'm curious as to see if How to Get Away with Murder, it was set to come back in April. So I hope it comes back since we'll be inside until April 30th. So I need to catch up on my show. So.
Well, I'm just excited because, you got How to Get Away with Murder, but you also have Insecure is coming out.
Yes.
So I feel like we have
14th,
a lot.
I believe.
We have a lot to look forward to. So I mean, it's like sad that things are changing in the awards realm, but as long as you keep chucking out some things for us to watch right now.
Yeah, exactly.
A fan now owns memorabilia from Kobe Bryant's final NBA game after paying, listen to this, more than $30,000 for it. The items include this towel that Bryant draped over his shoulder when he gave his farewell speech. They also include tickets to his final game on April 13th, 2016. Lakers collector David Kohler got them at an auction Sunday for about $33,000, and the fan who originally acquired the towel sold it for about $8,000. But since Bryant's death, items have been selling for more at auctions. Wow.
I expected this because everyone, they want a piece of his legacy.
Of course.
Especially since he's no longer with us. So I can only imagine what else will sell for those big bucks.
Oh, I'm sure. And, think about it. They could put this in, some people have like those NBA, rooms or like, shrines. And this could just be a part of it. But I mean, wow.
If you have $30,000, you love Kobe. If something were selling for auction for Beyonce, I'd definitely
you would
save up as much as I can to purchase something. So.
All right. There's that. Well, let's say hello to Raleigh, North Carolina. Kevin, that's a beautiful shot right there.
Yeah, an auction for Beyonce? What?
No.
He want to go talk about this, and I'm trying to talk about North Carolina. Okay.
I'm still back here and getting over that.
You got to put in his 2 cents.
Okay, right now, Raleigh, you're starting out with temperatures in the upper 60s. You're going to see some sunshine. High of 78 degrees. There you go.
All right, Kevin. Thank you so much. You're watching BNC Morning. Stay with us.
Hello, everyone. On this Monday morning, starting out with the tower cam into Richmond, Virginia. You're seeing a little bit of some sun peeking there. Temperatures a little bit on the mild side. You'll see highs today into the 70s. Meanwhile, into Tampa, St. Petersburg, we're starting out into the 60s and 70s. You're going to see a high temperature right around 90 degrees. So enjoy that warmth because of some changes moving in, especially across the northern sections of the Sunshine State as a front will be moving in. Meanwhile, let's take a look right now. We have that low that's spinning across the Great Lakes, bringing those folks some rain and wind. And then you see the showers that are blowing up across Texas into Oklahoma as well as Arkansas. That's a signal of what's going to be happening later today. Chance for severe weather for not only from Texas, but all the way through Louisiana. Then we have another bulk of that energy moving toward the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, potential even for some isolated tornadoes. We know what to do with that. So New York City starting out with temperatures into the 40s. We're into the 40s and 50s in the D.C. and Baltimore. And then you travel into the 50s and 60s into Atlanta. So the jet stream showing that dip across the middle of the nation. That's why we're going to see that chance for severe weather later today. So bad hair days, Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, and Seattle with a western storm system. New Orleans, 81 degrees, mix of sun and cloud cover. This evening, your rain chances will go up to around 50%. Winds from the southeast to the south. 76 in Charlotte, mix of sun and cloud cover. This evening down to 53 degrees, increasing cloud cover. St. Louis, enjoy that sunshine. 67 because you're going to see increasing clouds with rain chances at 30%. We'll keep you updated. Just click on the Facebook and Twitter. And just a reminder, traveling into Florida right now, that's the live view of the Florida and Georgia state line. They're going to stop you. All visitors from out of state have to stop into Florida, not only Florida, but Texas and Rhode Island this morning. Take it easy, folks, if you're doing some traveling.
Wow.
All right, well, healthcare workers are pulling long hours and potentially exposing themselves to the coronavirus as the nation and world deal with the crippling epidemic. This is very timely, so be sure to take a moment and say thanks because it's National Doctors Day. The observance has been around since 1933, but this year it is especially important.
Although doctors are critical every day and every year, they help keep us well and cure diseases. You can let your personal doctor know how much you appreciate their service by posting to social media, sending a card, or even surprising a hospital staff with goodies.
But make sure you're practicing social distancing.
Right, and then just, I would say, send it to the hospital because you don't want to be,
in contact with them. Exactly.
Yeah, doctors are doing a good job, not only for what's happening right now, but every day.
Of course.
There you go. Just don't like when they take my blood. I had one time she was taking my blood on this arm, and she was like, couldn't find the veins. She went over this arm, and I was like, hey, hold on. Come on.
Look, all right, I said
all
you
right,
can
Kevin.
Take blood.
There you go.
I don't like needles either, so I feel you, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's thank the doctors out there.
Exactly.
Thank you. We'll be right back for more BNC Morning right after this break.
This virus is bad news, and it moves quickly, and it spreads as easily as anything anyone's ever seen.
Now on BNC Morning, President Trump is pushing back his social distancing guidelines date. It's now at the end of April.
Plus, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are issuing a travel advisory for the tri-state area.
And this weekend, we saw tornadoes, including this small damage in the Jonesboro, Arkansas. And guess what? Today, threat for severe weather across the heartland. I have those details coming up in weather.
Prepare to remain in the house for at least another month. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren McCoy.
And I'm Ariana Manise. President Trump announced that he's pushing back the social distancing guideline back to April 30th. This as the number of coronavirus cases continues to increase. There's now over 723,000 confirmed cases worldwide, at least 143,000 of them here in the United States. John Lawrence has the details.
President Trump's dream to have churches filled on Easter Sunday won't come true.
We will be extending our guidelines to April 30th, to slow the spread.
Confirmed cases of COVID-19 keep climbing, and health officials say people need to maintain a safe distance from one another.
We feel that the mitigation that we're doing right now is having an effect to extend this mitigation process until the end of April, I think was a wise and prudent decision.
The coronavirus has already killed more than 2,400 people in the U.S. President Trump says modeling shows the country's death rate may peak in about 2 weeks.
If we could hold that down, as we're saying, to 100,000, it's a horrible number. Maybe even less, but to 100,000. So we have between 100 and 200,000. We all together have done a very good job.
The U.S. has the most confirmed cases worldwide, with more than 139,000 as of Sunday night. Hospitals in some parts of the country expect to run out of beds within 2 weeks as more patients arrive.
We really have to have a new mentality, a new culture of hospitals working with one another. This is going to be all hands on deck. This is everybody helping everyone else.
More than 30,000 people have died from the coronavirus globally, according to the World Health Organization.
Sad news out of Louisiana. One of the governor's staff members has died from the coronavirus. 33-year-old April Dunn worked in the Office of Disability Affairs. She served as the chair of Louisiana Developmental Disabilities Council. Louisiana's Governor John Bel Edwards says Dunn, quote, brightened everyone's day with her smile, was a tremendous asset to our team and an inspiration to everyone who met her.
Grammy winner Joe Diffie has died from complications with the coronavirus. The 61-year-old country music star died on Sunday. Diffie's hits include Home, Ships That Don't Come In, and Honky Tonk Attitude. Among others, he has wrote songs for artists like Tim McGraw. Diffie was a Tulsa native and a member of the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame.
Walton Celtics player Marcus Smart says he's now cleared of the coronavirus. The NBA pro tested positive for it earlier this month. Smart says on Twitter, the Massachusetts Department of Health is clearing him free of COVID-19. He thanks supporters for their thoughts and prayers, and Smart jokes in his tweet, quote, stay safe and stay together apart. The NBA season is now suspended, but a number of players have tested positive for the virus.
The coronavirus is further disrupting the 2020 census. The Census Bureau says it is extending its suspension of field work until April 15th, 2 weeks longer than originally planned. That means a freeze on hiring and training tens of thousands of workers for the largest phase of the census, canvassing millions of homes that have not responded. The delay also affects door-to-door census deliveries to about 10 million homes, mostly in rural areas or where residents don't get mail home delivery. The process, originally scheduled to end July 31st, is now set to end August 14th. That's so census officials can meet a legal deadline requiring results by the end of the year.
While Americans wait for their stimulus checks to arrive, the FBI and other government agencies are warning people not to fall for those scams. Government officials say scammers are already trying to steal your money by asking for personal or financial information through calls, texts, emails, or even websites. Americans are eligible for up to $1,200 per person. Officials say scammers will likely try phishing scams by claiming to be the government, asking for your personal information. Recipients will receive a notice by mail no later than 15 days after the payment was sent out. The letter will have information, including a phone number to call the, quote, IRS if the funds fail to arrive.
More than 130,000 Americans have been diagnosed with the coronavirus and more than 2,300 people have died. At least 250 million Americans are under some sort of shelter-in-place order. Now the 3 states at the epicenter of this outbreak face new orders. Melissa Rainey has more.
This is not a lockdown. It is a travel advisory to be implemented by the states, in essence.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a travel advisory for residents of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, urging them to refrain from any non-essential domestic travel for 2 weeks. More than half of the cases of coronavirus in the country are in those 3 states, along with nearly half of the deaths. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says that won't be much different than what people in his state are already doing.
The fact of the matter is people really aren't traveling a whole lot. A travel warning we're fine with. The fact of the matter is we are all in on flattening that curve, social distancing, as aggressive as any states in America.
President Trump floated the idea of a mandatory quarantine for the area before members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force talked him out of it.
The reason for that is that you don't want to get to the point where you're enforcing things that would create a big of difficulty, morale and otherwise, when you could probably accomplish the same goal.
Meanwhile, the task force has received proposed guidelines on relaxing social distancing in areas, particularly in Middle America, where infection rates are low. That would allow some businesses and schools to reopen.
Imagine being so in love that not even a pandemic could stop you from getting to your partner. Well, that's the story for a Canadian-Egyptian man. His girlfriend was all alone in Quebec, so he traveled from Egypt to Canada just so he could propose to her.
I didn't think we had time to waste, right? I'm potentially exposing my fiance to a very scary virus. I didn't know how much time we would have, but I didn't want to waste any time, and I wanted her to know not only that I loved her, but that I was willing to commit myself to her, especially if that meant, we were putting ourselves both at risk. One of the reasons I was moving in the first place to her was because her family was stuck in Italy, and we'd heard of the devastation, that we didn't want to take any chances. We wanted to get together as soon as possible before these lockdowns happened. So as soon as it's safe to travel again, we will definitely be heading over to Italy and having our wedding.
Wow.
Love knows no bounds.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I see.
Oh
What's
my
that,
goodness.
What's that show on TLC? Was that 90 Day Fiancé?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's my show.
I like the one they sit in the bed and they talk about the show.
They have commentators.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the weather is not hilarious today. Let's take a look right now at the Tower Cam takes us into D.C. land.